The story opens by introducing the two central characters, Commander Lyra Venz, prominent galactic diplomat, and Private Mason Hale, her assigned bodyguard. Lyra is a woman used to navigating danger and wielding authority. Her career has taken her across countless volatile worlds, negotiating treaties with volatile factions and alien species notorious for their unpredictability. She is experienced, sharp, and, importantly, accustomed to surrounding herself with physically imposing and highly trained guards. Her instincts have always told her that size and strength matter when it comes to protection. When she first sees Mason Hale, she cannot hide her disbelief. Mason is a relatively small human, lean and wiry, standing barely 5'8". Compared to the towering alien guards around her, he appears almost fragile. Lyra's reaction is a mixture of skepticism and amusement. Her first words to him, "You're too small to guard me," are more than a casual observation. They are a challenge, a subtle assertion of her own confidence and authority. In her mind, a protector must be intimidating enough to deter threats through mere presence. Mason's appearance fails to satisfy this expectation. Mason, on the other hand, remains completely unshaken. He does not argue, defend, or try to prove himself verbally. His calm demeanor hints at a deeper confidence rooted not in size, but in experience and skill. This quiet, almost meditative composure foreshadows the abilities that will soon come to light. The story subtly contrasts Lyra's assumptions with Mason's understated competence, immediately establishing one of the key HFY Humans First themes. Humans are often underestimated because of their physical appearance, but their ingenuity, instinct, and resilience allow them to defy expectations. The narrative then transitions into the mission setting. Journey 7. A rugged and dangerous world plagued by insurgent factions. Lyra's role on this planet is diplomatic, but the environment is hostile, and danger lurks everywhere. The description of the terrain, rock-strewn valleys, jagged cliffs, and shadowy enclaves sets a foreboding atmosphere, emphasizing that protection is not just about following someone across a parade ground. It is about surviving a world where threats can strike at any moment. The readers are invited to understand the gravity of the situation and to question whether Mason's small stature will be a liability. As they leave the shuttle and step onto the planet's surface, Mason's professional approach becomes evident. While Lyra moves confidently, almost nonchalantly, he is alert and scanning. He observes potential ambush points, the angle of the sunlight, the sound of distant machinery, and the patterns of local activity. Mason's attention to detail and his ability to anticipate danger is a subtle but crucial indication that his effectiveness does not rely on brute force. He demonstrates a human capacity for perception, analysis, and preemptive action that the alien characters and even Lyra herself do not immediately recognize. Lyra's initial skepticism is compounded by her pride and her tendency to rely on appearances. She is trained and fought with soldiers who, while physically formidable, often lack the instinct or intelligence to respond to unpredictable situations. This contrast between Mason's understated skill and the usual brawn-over brains approach of conventional guards underscores a recurring HFY motif. Humans combine intellect, adaptability, and determination in ways that other species rarely anticipate. The chapter closes with a tension building note, and trouble was coming faster than she expected. This line serves multiple purposes. It signals imminent action, ensuring that readers feel suspense. It also foreshadows Mason's forthcoming display of skill, setting up the moment where Lyra's assumptions about strength and protection will be challenged. At the same time, it reinforces the theme of underestimated human capability. Mason's calm, observant demeanor positions imperfectly to confront a threat that would overwhelm someone relying solely on size or intimidation. Part 1, therefore, functions primarily as character setup and thematic framing, while Mason embodies the latent human potential for ingenuity, skill, and unassuming power by juxtaposing appearance versus capability. The story immediately establishes tension and invites readers to anticipate the coming subversion of expectations. The small, quiet human is clearly more than meets the eye, and the story primes the audience for the moment when that truth will manifest in full force. Titled Ambushed is the story's first major action sequence, where Mason Hale demonstrates the human traits that make him exceptional despite his small stature. It begins immediately after the initial setup of Part 1, placing Commander Lyra, Venz and Mason into the hostile environment of Jarnus 7. The narrative moves quickly from characterization to high-stakes action. Contrasting Lyra's previous underestimation of Mason with his emerging extraordinary skill set, the ambush sequence begins without warning. Emphasizing the unpredictability of life on Jarnus 7, insurgent fighters attack suddenly, armed with plasma rifles and energy blades, designed to intimidate and overwhelm their targets. The reader is placed directly into the chaos alongside Lyra and Mason, which heightens tension. This attack is pivotal because it provides a tangible test of Mason's abilities, the moment where theory meets practice. Till now, his skill has been suggested, but here it becomes undeniable. Lyra's initial reaction to the ambush is telling of her personality and human assumptions. She freezes momentarily, expecting her guard to take cover or fail under pressure. This hesitation reflects a broader galactic expectation. Small humans cannot possibly contend with heavily armed and larger alien combatants. The story uses this moment to show both Lyra's vulnerability and the depth of human unpredictability. Humans are often underestimated because they do not conform to alien notions of power, and the narrative leverages this assumption for dramatic effect. Mason's response immediately defies all expectation. He positions himself between Lyra and the attackers, displaying situational awareness and lightning-fast reflexes. Every movement he makes is precise and efficient, demonstrating his combat training and instinctive understanding of physics, leverage, and human anatomy. Rather than relying on brute strength alone, he utilizes technique, timing, and environment to neutralize multiple attackers simultaneously. This underscores a central HFY theme. Humans' effectiveness in combat derives from intellect, adaptability, and courage as much as physicality. The story describes Mason's actions in vivid kinetic detail. He dodges plasma bursts, rolls under attacks, and counters blows with precise strikes that incapacitate enemies. These descriptions highlight a contrast between humans and alien combatants. Where aliens may rely on overwhelming size, armor, or energy weapons, Mason turns the attacker's own aggression against them. A single twist of his wrist can disarm a gunman. A deft throw or strike sends enemies tumbling into each other. This sequence not only establishes Mason's capability, but also frames human ingenuity as a force that other species cannot anticipate or easily counter. Lyra's perspective during the ambush is crucial to the story's emotional and thematic development. She is awestruck and momentarily speechless, realizing that her assumptions about size and strength are entirely wrong. Her inner monologue and observations allow readers to see Mason's abilities through the eyes of someone trained to evaluate combat skill. The shock she feels mirrors the larger galactic perception of humanity, underestimated, dismissed, but far more formidable than appearances suggest. By focusing on Lyra's reaction, the narrative reinforces the HFY motif of human unpredictability. In resilience, the ambush sequence also builds pacing and tension effectively. The insurgents come in waves, each wave testing Mason's limits and highlighting his combination of endurance, speed, and intelligence. Unlike many other alien species, who might tire or panic, Mason exhibits the hallmark human traits of perseverance and focus under extreme stress. Every enemy encounter is designed to showcase a different aspect of his skill's strategic thinking, improvisation, and precise execution. These moments collectively paint a picture of a human who is not just a fighter, but an adaptive problem solver, capable of surviving and thriving in chaotic environments. Finally, the ambush concludes with a turning point. The immediate threat is neutralized, and Lyra is safe. However, the scene leaves lingering implications. Mason's abilities are now undeniable, and Lyra must confront her initial prejudice. The story subtly shifts from external action to internal reflection, signaling that future conflicts will further reveal human potential. Mason's calm, unassuming demeanor throughout the attack reinforces that his strength is not a result of ego or showmanship, is intrinsic, disciplined, and highly effective. Titled The Human Edge, shifts the focus from Mason Hale's initial demonstration of raw combat skill to a deeper exploration of his strategic brilliance, instinctive judgment, and human adaptability. This section emphasizes the recurring HFY theme. Humans may appear physically modest, but their combination of intellect, intuition, and courage allows them to surpass alien expectations. It also highlights how Commander Lyra Ven's perception of Mason evolves from doubt to awe, reinforcing the narrative's focus on human exceptionalism. The section begins with the immediate aftermath of the ambush on Jarny 7, while the initial attack tested Mason's reflexes and agility. Part 3 focuses on his ability to anticipate danger and act preemptively. Lyra, still reeling from witnessing Mason handle multiple attackers single-handedly, begins to notice subtler aspects of his skill. Mason does not merely react to threats, he predicts them. He positions himself to intercept potential danger, subtly guides Lyra away from hazards, and neutralizes surveillance devices without drawing attention. These actions are almost invisible to an untrained observer but are critical in high-stakes environments, showcasing humans' capacity for situational awareness and tactical foresight. The narrative emphasizes the contrast between human and alien perceptions of threat. Many alien species in the story rely on overwhelming size, firepower, or brute force. Their approach is linear: confront a threat head-on and dominate through strength. Mason, by contrast, demonstrates that humans combine intuition with analytical thinking, leveraging opportunities that others overlook, interprets body language, environmental cues, and behavioral patterns to anticipate insurgent movements. This blend of instinct and analysis is portrayed as uniquely human. Underlining a recurring HFY motif, humans succeed because they think differently, not necessarily because they are bigger or stronger. Lyra's evolving perspective is central. Part 3. Her admiration is expressed subtly but profoundly. She begins to recognize that Mason embodies traits that no amount of size or alien training could replicate: calmness under pressure, adaptability in chaos, and a willingness to act decisively when others hesitate. The narrative uses Lyra's internal observations to provide context for readers, demonstrating how humans are often underestimated precisely because their strengths are not immediately visible. Mason's unassuming demeanor, combined with his ability to dominate situations, underscores the story's message that humans excel through unexpected qualities rather than obvious physical advantages. A key scene in this part occurs during a tense negotiation with a faction leader on Jarny 7. While Lyra attempts diplomacy, a disguised assassin slips into the room. The assassin's stealth and timing make the threat nearly undetectable, testing Mason's observational skills and reflexes in a different way than the previous ambush. Mason intercepts the assassin with precise, fluid movements, neutralizing the threat without creating panic or drawing attention. This scene is critical because it demonstrates that Mason's abilities are not limited to brute combat. They extend to subtle, intelligent interventions that protect lives and maintain strategic advantage. Humans in this context are portrayed as versatile operators capable of both overt and covert effectiveness. The scene also highlights another important HFY element: humans' emotional resilience and confidence under pressure. While Lyra reacts with surprise and awe, Mason remains calm, composed, and mission-focused. His lack of fear or hesitation is a form of psychological advantage, reinforcing the theme that humans' mental fortitude can outmatch other species' reliance on physical intimidation. The juxtaposition of Lyra's astonishment and Mason's composure emphasizes how humans often operate on a different wavelength than other species, making them unpredictable adversaries or indispensable allies. Throughout Part 3, the narrative also strengthens world-building and situational tension. The environment remains hostile and unpredictable, with insurgents, traps, and potential ambush points creating a sense of constant threat. Mason navigates this terrain with skill and efficiency, using the environment to his advantage. By doing so, the story not only highlights his physical agility, but also underscores human creativity and adaptability. Humans exploit opportunities and turn disadvantages into strengths, even in unfamiliar or dangerous situations. By the end of this part, Lyra's opinion of Mason has shifted significantly. She no longer sees him as too small to protect her. Instead, she recognizes him as an extraordinary human who embodies the best qualities of their species: intelligence, resilience, foresight, and courage. Part 3 bridges the story from initial action to deeper character development, showing that Mason's capabilities are as much mental and strategic as they are physical. It reinforces the central HFY theme. Humans succeed because they think differently, act decisively, and refuse to be underestimated, even in a galaxy that has long assumed their limits. In conclusion, Part 3 establishes Mason as not just a skilled fighter, but as a tactical genius, an embodiment of human adaptability. Through his actions and Lyra's evolving perception, the story demonstrates that humans' edge lies in their ingenuity, instinct, and resolve, traits that defy alien expectations and redefine what strength truly means. This part sets the stage for even more dramatic tests of Mason's abilities in the later sections of the story. Building suspense while reinforcing the narrative's HFY core, titled The Ultimate Test, represents the story's climactic action sequence, where Mason Hale faces a formidable challenge that pushes his abilities to the absolute limit. Unlike earlier encounters, which primarily tested his speed, precision, and situational awareness, this confrontation tests his raw physical strength, resilience, and tactical ingenuity against a threat that seems overwhelmingly superior. This section is crucial for highlighting the HFY theme. Humans, underestimated for their size and appearance, can achieve feats that alien species would deem impossible. The conflict begins during a high-profile diplomatic summit on Aerodon Prime. Commander Lyra Venz is attending negotiations with multiple alien factions. The stakes are higher than before. A powerful warlord, enhanced with cybernetics and towering in stature, launches a surprise attack aimed directly at Lyra. This antagonist is designed to be the antithesis of Mason: massive, heavily armored, and exuding intimidation through sheer size and weaponry. The narrative intentionally contrasts the warlord with Mason to emphasize the human edge. While aliens often rely on physical dominance and technological augmentation, Mason relies on intelligence, reflexes, and instinct, qualities that the warlord and other species routinely underestimate. Lyra's initial reaction to the warlord's assault reflects both her human vulnerability and her growing reliance on Mason. She freezes, a natural response to facing an overwhelming threat, which heightens the tension for the reader. This moment also serves a narrative purpose. It underscores the stakes and sets up Mason's heroism. The audience sees firsthand how alien expectations of size and power can be misleading, creating suspense while reinforcing the story's central HFY motif. Mason steps forward unarmed except for tactical knives, emphasizing that his human ingenuity is his true weapon. The fight sequence is described with cinematic intensity. Mason moves with speed and precision, ducking under massive swings of the warlord's plasma mace, redirecting momentum, and exploiting openings in the warlord's cybernetic armor. Every maneuver demonstrates human adaptability. Rather than meeting force with force, Mason uses leverage, timing, strategy to turn the warlord's own strength against him. The story frames these actions in a way that makes the impossible seem believable, highlighting the human's capacity to defy expectations. The narrative emphasizes that Mason's victory is not just physical, but psychological. The warlord, accustomed to intimidating opponents with sheer size and weaponry, is thrown off balance by Mason's unpredictability. This highlights a recurring HFY theme. Humans are not easily read, and their ingenuity often disrupts conventional expectations. Mason's calm composure, combined with his precise execution, creates a scenario in which raw power alone is insufficient. It is his ability to think, adapt, and act decisively that ultimately turns the tide of battle. The fight also demonstrates Mason's endurance and resilience. Unlike earlier encounters, the scale and intensity of this confrontation demands sustained effort. Mason absorbs blows, evades attacks, and continues to counterstrike with efficiency and precision. This portrayal reinforces the narrative's theme that human strength lies not merely in isolated bursts of power, but in persistence and determination. Alien characters often rely on intimidation and size as deterrents, but Mason's resilience and refusal to be intimidated exemplify a uniquely human trait. The combination of courage and perseverance under extreme stress, Lyra's perspective during the battle continues to develop the story's emotional depth. Watching Mason face a foe that dwarfs him in every conventional measure, she experiences a mix of fear, astonishment, and awe. Her internal recognition of Mason's extraordinary capability mirrors the broader theme of the galaxy underestimating humanity. The reader, through Lyra's eyes, gains insight into how humans' unassuming appearance belies their profound effectiveness. This perspective allows the story to reinforce HFY principles without overt exposition. BLN. Titled Respect Earned, serves as the story's resolution, highlighting the aftermath of Mason Hale's extraordinary feats and cementing the central why theme. Humans are underestimated at their peril. This section shifts focus from intense action to character reflection, relationships, and the broader consequences of human ingenuity and resilience in a galaxy that often misjudges them. It emphasizes the emotional and thematic payoff after the climactic confrontation with the warlord, illustrating how human strength's mental, physical, instinctual reshapes perceptions and establishes enduring respect. The section opens immediately after the climactic battle on Erdon Prime, where Mason has neutralized the towering, cybernetically enhanced warlord and protected Commander Lyra Venz from imminent death. The immediate tension dissipates, and the story transitions into a reflective mode. Lyra, previously skeptical of Mason's capabilities, now fully comprehends the depth of his skill, resourcefulness, and bravery. Her internal monologue highlights both her astonishment and her newfound understanding of human potential. She realizes that size, appearance, or even conventional measures of power are inadequate for evaluating a human's true capability. Narrative emphasizes that humans, as a species, possess qualities adaptability, ingenuity, decisiveness under pressure that defy external assumptions and expectations. Lyra's respect for Mason is reinforced not merely by the physical feats he performed, but by his composure and selflessness. Throughout the story, Mason demonstrates that his strength is not for personal glory. He acts to protect and accomplish the mission, remaining disciplined, patient, and strategically aware. In this part, the story emphasizes that human heroism is often quiet, effective, and unassuming. Contrasting with alien tendencies to display dominance through intimidation or sheer size, the act of earning respect through competence rather than aggression reinforces the HFY motif. Humans are formidable because their abilities are multidimensional, blending intellect, instinct, and courage seamlessly. The narrative also explores the interpersonal dynamic between Lyra and Mason. Their relationship, initially defined by skepticism and judgment, has transformed into mutual trust and admiration. Lyra recognizes that Mason's presence is invaluable, not because he is large or imposing, but because his human traits, resourcefulness, mental agility, and unyielding determination make him irreplaceable. This evolution mirrors broader, galactic themes. Species that underestimate humans often face consequences, and those who acknowledge their true capabilities gain unexpected allies. By highlighting this relationship, the story humanizes the HFY theme, showing that extraordinary strength is as much about character and reliability as it is about combat proficiency. Part 5 also addresses the wider implications of Mason's actions. The summit on Arodan Prime, once in jeopardy, concludes successfully, and the galaxy takes notice. Alien factions, once dismissive or prejudiced against humans due to their smaller size, begin to reassess their assumptions. Mason's feats act as a symbol of humanity's unpredictable edge. Humans cannot be measured solely by physicality or appearance. This outcome reinforces the story's HFY message that humans' ingenuity and resilience give them a strategic advantage in a universe that often miscalculates their potential. Through this lens, Mason's personal triumph becomes emblematic of humanity's broader position in the galaxy, demonstrating that human influence extends far beyond individual encounters. Another critical aspect of Part 5 is the narrative's focus on emotional resonance. Lyra expresses gratitude and awe toward Mason, verbalizing what the audience has long known. Humans defy expectations in extraordinary ways. Her acknowledgement, "You're more than my bodyguard. You're the reason I'm still standing," underscores that human strength is holistic. It encompasses not only physical prowess, but also courage, loyalty, adaptability, and mental acuity. The story positions Mason as the embodiment of these traits, and Lyra's recognition signifies a turning point in her understanding of human nature. Finally, Part 5 concludes with a thematic affirmation: humans are a species that surprises, endures, and excels when underestimated. Mason's actions leave a lasting impact, not just on Lyra, but on the galactic stage. The story closes with a sense of earned respect, both personal and collective, illustrating that human potential is often invisible until tested under extreme circumstances. The resolution ties together the narrative arcs of skill, perception, and adaptability, ensuring the audience understands that humans' power lies in their multidimensionality and unpredictability. In summary, Respect Earned provides closure by emphasizing the consequences of Mason's heroism, Lyra's transformed perception, the solidification of trust between protector and charge, and the galaxy's newfound respect for humanity. It reinforces the HFY theme that human strength is not determined by size, weaponry, or intimidation, but by intellect, instinct, courage, and resilience. Mason's journey from underestimated guard to legendary protector encapsulates the core message. Humans, when truly tested,